Hello, my dear viewers. This is a dangerous descent from the mountain on bicycles. Our hero specially starts last. There are 300 racers in front of him and he wants to overtake everyone. He stumbles alone, the traffic is very dense, it's better to stay away. In total, you need to drive 15 kilometers and the track is quite difficult. Our hero's name is Keely Ambron, a world-famous high-level cyclist. Frenchman, 30 years old, specially rides along the edge of the highway so as not to get into the crowd. There's no one on the right. There's a body already lying on the left, then the vultures will finish it, but for now Killian is taking an excellent pace and is already overtaking, probably, a third of his competitors. But a bottleneck is approaching. The bridge. We see it is necessary to pass some drainage structures, 2 gutters and a basin at the bottom, maybe it's some kind of water tower. We descend from the place of Machu Picchu, which is located in South America, Peru. The lost city of the Incas among the clouds. By the way, the weather here was clear in the photos, there is a lot of fog now. Apparently, a hookah bar was recently opened nearby. Killian maneuvers delicately between the other riders. Now turn left, thinks to go along the internal trajectory. No, it will cut off-road. It is audible, already out of breath on Killian. The sighs are audible in French. The food cuts, but not much. This turquoise one ahead on the asphalt road was even a little closer. But the truth is there at the entrance to the path he was prevented, detained. He decides to cut again, catching up with turquoise gradually. And off-road, on stones, Killian rides noticeably faster than other racers on a well-trodden track. But there they really interfere with each other. They move at the speed of the flow. Well, in general, for most participants, the main goal is just to overcome the track, to get to the end. For Killian Braun, only the first place matters. The height here is 4.5 kilometers. During the entire route, you will need to go down about 2 kilometers. This is a dangerous situation when there are many other unpredictable riders around Killian. I think the track itself is not particularly difficult for him. The path down is quite narrow, again he will go along an alternative route. Keeps a high speed even on the rocks and on the right look someone cuts. Wow, the yellow mud splashes like. Right on camera. White pants for nothing gray put on. It can be seen making very dangerous maneuvers. They will not go further on the paved road. Here the descent is mainly along mountain trails. Oh, you're red, how sharply he overtakes Killian. Sets the pace. On the left, a girl stands next to a pillar. Eloquently it is called got to the post. Oh, Killian is driving too close to the blue one, you can collide with the steering wheels there. But so far there are no paths for safe overtaking here. The places are extremely picturesque and at the same time have a local peculiar flavor. There is a striking difference from the European Alps. I do not know if we will see the ruins of an ancient Inca city in the frame. I really hope so. There's a kind of fork in the road ahead. Yes, Killian uses it. What is his high speed, and when is he not restrained by the flow? Whistling. Apparently the bell does not work on the steering wheel. Overcomes 3 at once for this maneuver. Well done. He had such a speed there that now, when Killian is in the stream, it feels like he is resting here. And according to the previous videos of this plan, we know that when descending from the mountains, the speed develops up to 100 kilometers per hour. This whole mountainous region is called Abramaga. Quite a lot of tourists visit. The places are extremely picturesque, but they write that it's a little cold at this altitude. Well, by the way, yes, we see that Blue even has something tied up in front of his lower back so as not to freeze. In these mountains nearby is the city of Cuzco, which from the ancient Inca translates as the navel of the earth, that is, the center of the world. 420,000 people now live there. According to archaeological excavations, it is clear that people have lived here for more than 3,000 years. And 500 years ago, the Spanish conquistadors arrived here. So Killian asks the rider in front to possibly give way to him, not inferior to Blue. Killian is saying something to himself there under his breath. Well, not to say that they drove slowly, the speed is quite high, but Killian's goal is to overtake. Well, now the track is expanding a little, there is a chance to get ahead of the Blue with this anime bandage on the lumbar. Wow. It's a pity, the racer falls, hopefully without injury. Well, in general, 500 years ago, the conquistador Francisco Pizarro and Gonzalez came here. So, dangerous overtaking, dangerous maneuver again from Kelly Shi. Too close. And this Spaniard Francisco with his squad of 168 people. At the same time, the battle destroyed 7,000 local Incas and captured the leader of the empire. In total, more than 1 million people lived in these mountains, and in order to redeem their emperor, the Incas offered gold from silver with a total volume of about the size of a garage. The conquistador received this ransom, and the emperor was hanged because he was very influential among the Inca army. Dangerous. And it's also dangerous to run away with another racer at speed. Killian makes way for him, but that's for now. Well, in general, the local Inca Empire was one of the largest states on Earth. At that time, 6 to 12 million people. It was destroyed and looted by the Spaniards. 300 years have passed and Simon Bolivar, proclaimed the liberator, that is, El Libertador, freed Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Ecuador, this Peru, where we are now, and Bolivia from Spanish rule. And Bolivia was named after him. Simon Bolivar. Did he want to make the southern United States like North America? I called a Congress, but the representatives of the republics could not agree. And for example, no one came from Chile at all. As a result, there are United States in North America, and only disconnected ones in South America. By the way, in these mountains here on the left, which are steep, you can book a room in a suspended capsule. The cost is pretty hellish, 37,000 rubles per night. But no, these are the numbers on the mountain that are on top. And here are these hanging capsules for 254,000 rubles. There is plumbing inside, however, the corpse is not visible, maybe just a hole. A mountain river flows below. Breakfast and dinner are included, and also attention, they write that they are giving out a blanket. There is also Wi-Fi. If you go the same route, you can try to catch him. After all, there are no obstacles here, visibility is direct. So, Killian continues to quietly thump at the rest of the riders, which does not miss him. Interferes with the execution of the challenge. It's going on and on. But if the path remains the same narrow, then the next moment for overtaking will be only at the intersection of this asphalt road. And there won't be much time there. Now there will be a decline to this road. Let's see how much Killian can accelerate there. It can be seen that the organizers have specially laid stones, so it went. He overtakes too. The speed develops gigantic even without a downward slope. Then again the paths are very narrow here. I wonder how many riders are left in front of him. All these branches are right in the eyes. It would be very dangerous to drive here without a glazed helmet. Blows are heard. Here you can stay without an eye. It probably doesn't make sense to overtake now, but there is already a gap ahead. There will be an asphalt stretch again. Will Killian dare to overtake? Ahead of the red says something. Maybe he can't hear, but the road is wider here. But Gracie says Killian thanked you anyway. Wooden bridge, traces of civilization. Here, next to these keys. Well, I mean water springs. Restaurant Rojas Fritas, that is, fried trout. Judging by the photos, she's the only one here. But they give her boiled potatoes in a uniform, tomatoes, onions. And so I am and I wanted to. The reviews say that the potatoes are local here and grow straight. And the trout is probably from a mountain river. It remains to understand where tomatoes and onions are taken. So, apparently Killian is tired. He's got 2 red balls already. Another wide section now needs to be overtaken. A rare moment in fact. Do you know how to get 6.5 liters of energy with taste and hagao for free? See to the end. Let's move on to Mbo news. How delicious. Imba Energy has released new flavors in limited quantities. They have even more port. There were 15 of them, right? Here now they are 18. Green ahigo. Deliciously sweet from, in the right proportions. One of my favorite flavors. Green, like this green one. There is something for cats, I haven't given it yet.
I give my wife Weifu.
Says great taste. New shakers from the anime collection have been released. Is it a cat or what I am? I do not know. Mega Samurai with malocclusion. If anyone does not know, then Imba Energy is the first fast-soluble energy drink in the Russian Federation CIS for gamers and fans of anime Japanese animation. To make it easier for you to choose on their website, you have received recommendations from bloggers. With favorites. Here are my favorites. Useless. He has a Higo too. I know that all tastes of Imba are excellent, I have tried them all. And now I'm waiting for the taste of Rama.
It won't even be a bomb, it will be an Imba.
Imba together with well-known bloggers have released exclusive shakers. And for you, dear viewers, I have knocked out a unique offer. When buying from 3 flavors, you get the 4th taste of Imba for free. He has 18 servings, which is 6.5 liters of energy. Just use my promo code IMBAVOICE and take the top taste. Well, for those who want to try the energy drink today, Imba is now available on the shelves of 23 stores of board games and cool gifts. Mo's Game. And by the way, Batty is now available to residents of Kazakhstan again. Follow the link in the description and see for yourself how profitable it is. Very red petals, but Killian turns them faster. It is approaching, but it does not have time to overtake the path. On the yellow sign it was written instead of the rest of the Incas. It certainly sounds specific. Either there is an Indian burial here, or a place to relax on a hiking route. Here is another opportunity for Killian to overtake. Does the red one also hold on to the internal trajectory? I haven't seen it. Killian is taking a risk too close. Specially bypasses the second red along the external trajectory. Perhaps he was afraid that red might give sharply to the right. That's where a lot of riders have already disappeared around the corner. All of them need to be overtaken, but there is still time. Gradually approaching the next one. To the next victim. With sciatica. It floats by. It's still a long way to the next batch, you need to work hard. So Killian checks the wheels, whether they are going correctly. 8. That's right. So the riders in front stop pedaling. The killer catches up sharply. I went overtaking, so far there seems to be a lot of space. One of the riders shifts to the left. Now it's narrow between them. That was a dangerous situation now. Well, the road will be more or less straight for quite a long time. Then the mega serpentine will begin there. I think they will move to the mountain paths. So now Killian has plenty of opportunities to overtake and he uses them extremely effectively. Take a look. No one moves at all at the same speed as him, but it's logical. The one who moves at his speed remains the same distance ahead, and he is not visible. Here they are pedaling too, they have traveled the same distance. But Killian is much faster and more efficient. There is a left turn ahead, but the black one is slowly blocking the way. Killian warns him and not the most effective trajectory, but he already drives faster than the others on the path. It's hard to breathe. There will be an off-road continuation through the asphalt. The yellow sign says Rock Garden, that is, the Stone Garden. A garden with stones. We see, yes, there will be a good shaking here. Massage of all adjacent parts of the body, up to the tremor. And Killian does not reduce his overall advantage compared to the rest of the participants. By speed I mean. He's always catching up with someone. The main intrigue here, of course, is there someone at the very beginning, ahead? Who will he still not have time to get to? The rock garden is really interesting. Look at how many varieties there are here. All sorts of stones. So the maneuvers begin. Killian warns. But Black has nowhere to go yet. Risky situations again. Asphalt again, it will be easier now. Catch up with the Black. Hits him on the spine. He tried to answer, but he couldn't reach out. Killian at speeds. The buildings around seem to be uninhabited, there are fields with coffee and cocoa just nearby. Apparently some kind of office space. There may be processing. A little bit of the road goes even uphill. It's a little difficult to move. Again a mountain path. On the left, look, these fields are slightly visible, but there is certainly no overtaking opportunity on this section of the highway. We will have to be patient and constantly be on the alert. Any opportunity to use. Well, Killian should know the route. Yes, he speaks in Spanish. Next, that is, forward. That is, Killian feels that there are not so many opportunities for overtaking him. Time is short, he has to be impudent. Still a challenge. But the truth is that he creates situations with some risk. The show is good, but there are threats. He is approaching the other sharply at speed. Perhaps the rest of the participants, at least some, have been warned about his challenge. But even so, not everyone can agree to it. Overtaking red and blue should be quite safe. The road is wide. Blue waits a little for Killian. Oh, but red doesn't let himself be overtaken now. The first to enter the path. Maybe he has his own challenge to overtake Killian Braun. In vain they go along the trails. By the way, there are restaurants and a tienda on the right. That is, a restaurant and a store at the same time. According to the photo, however, it is difficult to understand what the assortment is. Dried fish, probably. You can order a bowl of chicken soup. He really got 1 star out of 5. There is a wider path here, but it will still be difficult and dangerous to leave together. Go ahead, he says. We have something for you, let's go already. And the red one looks like it's coming out ahead, huh? Killian Bro inspires him. A little bit of paved road ahead is probably not enough for overtaking. It's unclear here, maybe Killian, says Miguel. That is, he knows this participant personally. Miguel is the Spanish Michael. Or maybe Killian is just a stereotype, as Ivan would call a Russian, so Miguel is here. Miguel again. Well, in fact, I guessed it. Many people know Killian Braun here. This is a real cycling star. And we see that there are still enough riders ahead. There is someone to overtake. There is a bridge ahead. A yellow sign with the inscription El Puente, which translates as, the bridge. Interesting, there is no one under the bridge yet. But it's daytime, they're probably at work. The path is already wider, you can even try to overtake someone. But so far, Killian is only pushing. Not, well, the physical form of the participants of course. It is respected and impressive. Not a single stop at high speeds, just a pond forward through a complex landscape. Some kind of brick building here in Latin America, that we're watching a video from Ecuador, right? And even with Brazil, often there are some strange abandoned buildings in the mountainous area. What are they? What are they for? I don't know yet, but I would certainly be interested to know. Spider-Man has been overtaken. Ahead is a bright turquoise, rather acidic color. It will still be for us as a landmark that catches the eye. The stone garden begins again. Wow, what a boulder. Keely, did he just jump over it or something? How it flew right through. The master. Well, as we see, there are at least 4 riders ahead. But they are too close to each other and the road is too narrow to try to overtake them all at once. Another sharp descent down, the speeds are high. It is necessary to slow down sometimes. Miguel is talking again, and most likely the future in Peru will guess. Unless of course it's some word in Spanish. I just don't know. Write it down. So, one overtakes quite immodestly, audaciously. There are 3 left, turquoise ahead. But for now, Killian keeps a respectful distance. He doesn't want to, he probably knows that the track ahead will not allow him to finish overtaking safely. Stones again, yes, giant boulders. But now it's coming. There was a chance, Killian didn't use it, but boulders, yes. This is a stone garden. In the stone jungle, gardens are made of plants, and in the vegetable jungle, from stones. On the left we see a lonely house. I wonder how he's doing with communications. Is there gas, electricity, water supply? Probably, for the sake of a single building, they will not let this down. Well, or of course for a lot. Killian again shouts on. And the participants ahead are really inspired. They're accelerating. On the left, the fields are painfully flat, suspicious. And what a giant stone. The pearl of the stone garden. He may have seen more Incas here. Well, although, in principle, all the Inca stones were probably seen here. 500 years have passed. They just lay there and lie there. Well, probably. By the way, turquoise has an interesting tactic of intimidation. It's like he's always looking back into your soul. Hurry up. But apparently they know each other. Or even if they don't know, the level of camaraderie and support among the cycling community is high. Nice to see. Of this group of 4 riders, 2 were overtaken, 2 more remained. Killian says, I'm behind. Orange asks, how did you catch up with us like that? Meanwhile, we have entered a somewhat different biosphere, an ecosystem. Forest. There are some pieces of brushwood and branches lying here, or maybe just lightning struck and the fire was localized, but the truth is I didn't see the charred trunks. Oh, something has slowed down Killian, is he resting or something? Oh, the acceleration has gone. Now is the time to overtake the remaining two. Is it clear ahead? Is Cretchety the very first? Is it possible that Keely has now taken the first place at last? Well, you and I, dear viewers, know that Kylan will not give it up anymore. The arrows on the left side indicate to go in the other direction, trying to confuse, but the reservation is not conducted. But just in case I looked back, what's there? Maybe others went. The speed is high, the gap is increasing, the yellow arrows have gone. He turns back onto the path, and here already Killian can block the road catching up. You can't outrun him here. Yes, in general, the track is impressive. The places are very beautiful and the challenge has added peppercorns, and a significant share of interest in this race. So, Killian checks the wheels. It's fine, it wags from side to side. This is for balance. There were orange roofs on the left. There's an Episca Gran Hala Cabana restaurant. That is, a fish farm for wild boar along with a restaurant. Well, something without reviews. Apparently tourists don't go there much, so we leave again on the road. If the guys from behind try, they can even catch up with Killian. On the right was a sign of Pisci Granka, that is, a fish farm. Well, the farm. And by the way, Granja squeaks are in Spanish. And in Slavic, too, the word means to fish. And in Russian, the squeaks of Granka. I do not know who Grant is. Oops, there's no one behind. Killian is building up the gap. This is the undisputed champion. The minimum of this descent, and not only that, and Mega Ava Lansha and Mountains XL, which we have already watched. He needs to get to the town of Tank. According to rumors, this is a mecca for young Animeshnikov. They believe that in the city of the Tank they will find a Tian. They will hang themselves on them there. Well, let's see. Oh, by the way, I found it. The mountain river along which they are now driving is called Santa Maria. There's a restaurant in her neighborhood. There's a vine in it. And the name is not in Spanish, but in Quechua. Local Indians. Well, I don't know if it belongs to an Indian or just such a name. Again, fried fish and potatoes are served there. But the truth is, since the Indians, they also put rice there. And green lettuce leaves. And you are not, and Wina translates as new developments. Well, like new perspectives. Well, as we can see from the giant so-called foot traffic, that is, simply put, crowds of people here. Restaurants are needed. And where else can I get fried fish with potatoes? Apparently they are building another one. Then through such events, you can launder money, well, not of colossal size, but therefore you need more restaurants. Maybe Spain itself is doing this out of habit. I saw it up ahead, didn't I? Or did it seem not? There is another one. Another rider pulled ahead. Some kind of talented or something. Keely Ambro rushes after him. There is enthusiasm. This is some kind of powerful one that has pulled ahead, and in front of him we do not know. There is no guarantee whether there is someone else. The intrigue persists until the very end. Like Kellyan and his challenge. Well, look, well, it's catching up, yes, but the gap was big, and such a fiasco can happen that. We are already close to the finish line, close to the city. What is the leader ahead? So he will continue to block Killian, not let him overtake himself. So on the left was the inscription jump if you can. Salto Sipodes. Here is a wider road. Killian catches up, even though the leaders are pedaling with the last of their strength. Rushes forward anyway. Overtaking is postponed. Oh, you are the fork. That's it. Killian once again becomes a leader. But unless of course there is no one ahead. And remember that parking lot, right? I wonder what it's for. And it's for a restaurant that serves what? Fried trout. So wait, there is still another one. So close to the finish line. But back to the restaurant. By the way, there is a photo of the menu. And the trout is worth 12 Peruvian sols. There's salami to pay. This is 180 rubles for a portion of fried trout here. And chicken soup, 10 salts, 150 rubles. And by the way, caldo is soup, and caldo de gallina. Type gallina is chicken. Where does gallina blanca come from? The form is white. So, well, Killian, in general, naturally caught up with another leader of the next one. Does he know that Killian has already caught up with him? Yes, look, he turned around and knows. And how he moved straight. He has the intention to finish first, but so does Braun. As we know, Killian needs a small distance to overtake, but will it be at the finish line in the city? After all, I expect there will be fences, lots of people to meet. On the left, here we see the river has expanded. Most of the time Santa Maria was more of a stream. It has expanded here and will soon flow into the Urubamba River. So, well, the urban strip is already beginning. We need to overtake Red, soon there will be opportunities for this. Asphalt road. Red takes his hands off the steering wheel. Whose hands? Hands off the steering wheel. And he is not in a hurry and Kilianta is not in a hurry either. The finish line is ahead of the Blue Arch. Apparently they had agreed in advance to finish together at the same time. Well, there is certainly romance in this. Since Killian caught up with the leader, in principle, if he wanted to, he could overtake now, and finish first in the end. Well, dear viewers, I hope you enjoyed this video. I think the race turned out to be very interesting with the challenge. I wish you all the best, health, kindness, love, prosperity and of course money. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.